Hello and good day everyone. I am Mr. Noe de Poricalian and I'm here to tell you about the legend of guava fruit. You guys want to know about the story? Well, sit back and please listen to the story while I narrate it for you. A long time ago, there was a king who ruled a rich, prosperous island. He had all the things a king could ever ask for: the power, the wealth, and all of the delicious foods that one can only imagine. The king's name was King Barabas, and he was a very greedy king. King Barabas is a rude king and overweight, indulging himself to all the foods available, hesitant to share, and his castle is starting to become filthy. He would spend most of his time sitting and eating with his bare hands. As he eats, he drops food to the floor and smiles mockingly at the people around him, especially to his servants. People in the kingdom would approach him with requests for his help, but he would always refuse as he neglected his kingdom. People started to complain while they start to also starve. After some time, one old hunchback woman showed up at the castle, begging for food, while the king was eating. The old lady asked for the food as she was starving. "Go away! I have nothing to give! Can't you see I'm eating?" said the king. "Please, my king," said the old woman, I'm asking for anything you could give me, as I am so hungry. Even a little piece of bread or fruit would do." "Get out at once! You disgust me!" The king belittled the old beggar. The old woman stood up straight, casting aside her stooped posture. "I have heard much about you, and how your kingdom is suffering." The tone of her voice had changed. It was no longer the voice of a weak old woman. "I asked for help, and you shoved me away. You have a lot to yourself. But when I asked for a little food, you belittled me. You are selfish and so greedy. No one loves you, and no one will remember you once you've died and once you are gone." And that beggar disappeared away from the kingdom. After a few more days, the king slowly weakened. While becoming sick, no one knows what's wrong with him, while he gained more weight. He becomes more fatter and more weaker by the day. He looked older than his age, and soon after that, the king had perished away. As unfortunate and unexpected as it seemed, no one cried and nobody showed up at the king's burial, as he died alone. And where the king was buried, his people noticed a strange plant growing, a plant they had never seen before. The plant soon grew into a tree, which bore rounded fruits that turned yellowish when ripe. People also noticed that the fruits seemed to have a crown as it develops, which reminded them of their selfish, greedy king. The flesh of the fruit tasted a bit sour, like the sour personality of the king towards them. The people learned to eat the fruit, which helped them with starvation. And because the tree was from the grave of the king Barabas, and it has a crown just like the king, they named it the tree after him, Barabas, which in time they called Bayabas. And the fruit, until today, it is called Bayabas. And that's the story of the legend of guava fruit. Now, the moral of the story is simple. If you keep being greedy, everybody will hate you, and karma will eventually get into you once you've done so much damage by your own greediness and selfishness.